Peace family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how the enemy / opposition is jealous of you. I don't care if you're dealing with the opposite sex, you're a male dealing with a female or a female dealing with a male. They are jealous of you. Jealous, envious. And what kind of dove me into this subject today, I was just kind of traveling and diving into about as far as like my past experiences, what I've been through, and what was I like when I was in this cycle and the seasons that I'm in my spiritual realm that I'm in now. And when you in this space and you constantly going upward internally, but outwardly you have a lot of obstacles and things going on, so it kind of deters you, or it makes it seems as if you're not climbing and going up in the spiritual realm. I noticed for me, and I didn't really pay much attention to jealousy or motherfuckers being envious until I got to a certain place in my spiritual journey. And to be honest, I really didn't even recognize it until it was the opposite sex. Because when it's the same sex, I kind of already expected it. Dealing with men, males, boys, I expect that shit. That's what we do. It's in our masculine energy. We're competitive. Even though we're still supposed to be able to work and build together, we're still competitive by nature. We still competitive by nature. So what it brought me to understand was when I started dealing with the opposite sex on those levels, because you don't really understand until after high school. Anything before high school, like it doesn't really count. Unless you wasn't in indoctrination high school and you actually lived as an adult and a spiritual human being, then the same rules wouldn't apply for you. But for most of us, we was going through indoctrination school. So after school is when it really takes account for us to look into and see what is actually going on for this female to be jealous or envious of me. I'm a male. I don't look at you like you're a male, and you shouldn't look at me like I'm a female. And it's weird to me when people think that, okay, well, men and females can do the same thing. To a certain degree. That's why we're built this way. We are not doing everything on the same level. That's why we connect and we make a whole moon pie. I know y'all seen the old moon pie cakes or cookies, you know, half brown, half white. It doesn't matter what fucking color you use. I'm just saying how you put it together and it makes a whole. You know what I mean? But it really hit me more with my BM, and then the more I started doing this in like experiencing other females as well, it also registered to me. And I had somebody say to me the other day that they had posted a comment or something on their Instagram and they got more likes or comments than they usually do, and they basically was just speaking and engaging outwardly how I do, giving helpful, insightful information back. And they was like, oh look, I took some of your sauce, I used it, and I got more likes than I ever gotten before. And I'm just sitting over there, I'm like, that's a good job. But the way you're saying it and bringing it to my attention, it sounds as if you're envious and you would like to be in my position, when I'm pretty sure you would not be able to handle a quarter piece of this, which is why you were too weak and you have a whole nother entity occupying your vessel with you. It's always weird to me when I see the opposite sexes competing with each other. I don't care if it's a male competing with a female too. This shit is weird. The way the system is structured right now, however the team leader sees that they're supposed to build together, is how it works. Simple. The way society is set up right now, most women are making more money than men. So in my world, it doesn't mean he's a bitch or he's a beta because she's making more. If you're in the Western society, that's just how the structure is set up, motherfucker. So if the woman is making more finances, this motherfucker should be leading. He should be knowing how to invest his money, where to invest his money. He should be doing all kind of other things on his, not free time, but on his time that's not devoted to other things other than his purpose. So like me, if I'm not working, if I'm not bringing in all the finances and I got a partner right now, best believe that I'm going to be pushing my businesses, my ideas, and I'm going to be using this energy and pushing out and helping as much as I possibly can, which is a difference. In today's society, they make it seem as if, and we're in the Western world, which you have to understand, Western, witchy Western, WW, however you want to call it or word it, you know, the witchy Western. So being in the witchy Western, some of the jobs is actually easier for females to go do and be a fucking receptionist, take phone calls and make bank, or go do some assistant job and make guap. And they might actually like getting out. But it's the male's job to make sure that he's working and positioning too, even if his job is less than or he has no job. Bill jobs does not define where a person is going. It just only helps a person's financial situation, or it kind of assesses where you are at the time being. You know what I'm saying? But that's the same thing when I be seeing fucking men being jealous of their females or mad because she got the car and he wanted to drive the car, and now all of a sudden he pissed off because in his mind he had a whole nother place set up that he was about to go do some Western witchy shit, and she kind of read in between the lines and was like, nah, I don't really want you taking the car out right now, or I gotta use it to do something, so you cannot use it and drop me off. You know what I'm saying? But it's always some witchy sauce in between that shows that a motherfucker is jealous or envious of somebody. And when the last person had made the comment about the Instagram shit, I ain't really take it in a weird manner, because I was just thinking to myself, like, I expect that when people are around me, these are the kind of things that you're going to gain. You're going to gain some helpful fruits around me. You know what I mean? You're going to get some healthy fruits around me. You're not going to be in a position where you're around me and then you're not getting anything besides what was the last football game that I played, who was the next player up, or what was the latest cooking show and shit. Like, I'm going to hit you in your soul. The same way they say Dirk talk to the streets. Garbage ass, indirect, weird, witchy shit, which I kind of used to fuck with. And now I try to minimize that shit as much as possible. Same thing. So that's why we have to be aware and understand that the way these demons are set up, jealousy is going to be one of their hardest pushes in order to like fuel them into hating you more. That's why you can be in their space, because a handful of us is living in with some of these demons, and we are not individualized where everybody can be in their own space and only can deal with them when they go to work and go to the store. You know, some of us are actually living in, and we have to understand what's going on and how to manage our energy while dealing with these beings. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll get so many subtle war attacks and battle attacks that if you don't dive in to understand what's actually going on, you are gonna make yourself sick. You're gonna cause a dis-ease in your body. You will cause a dis-ease in your body if you allow them to keep you in a chaotic, frantic state. If you are not sharing information with them, it's because they're a demon and they're jealous of you. And you know that you have to pay more for opening your mouth and sharing information than you do for not opening your mouth and sharing information. That's how they make you pay. That's one of the payment methods. You know how we got Apple Pay, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all these other things. That's just one of their forms of payments. You know what I'm saying? And even with the jealousy, when I think back as far as my being, when we started communicating again a couple months ago, which we haven't again recently, just because, you know, when you're dealing with these demons, you're not allowed to engage with them very often before the shit starts spilling back around. But she had gotten to a habit of checking out the knowledge and the content, which I knew she wasn't doing, because if she did, she would know that, okay, this nigga is standing publicly against me. I should stop communicating and carrying it with him this way. But no, that's not her. Seen one of the videos and was like, you should tell your viewers that I'm not the only one trying to get back with you. It's both of us. And I was just thinking to myself when her entitled ass said that, I'm like, bitch, I never said I was trying to get back into space with you. Now, there is a million demons out here, and we are running into them. So if worst case scenario, I would much rather deal with a demon that, I know the mom opposed from dealing with another demon who I don't. That's not my space right now, but I'm just saying if it was per se. But to make that statement, that entitlement, that envy, it's like, hey, I'm proud of you, daddy. No, you're not. No, you're not. Let's see, you got your subscribe. You don't give a fuck about that. You don't. Because if you did, then we wouldn't have been separated for these years. This wouldn't be the space and place, you know? So that's how I knew it was a lot of jealousy, and it was really weird coming from the opposite sex. Like, for me, if I want a female who doesn't receive a lot of attention, I get somebody who's not as attractive on the physical scale. They could be a beautiful spirit on the inside, but on the physical scale, she's only like a 4 or 5, maybe a 3. You know what I'm saying? Understanding like the depths that we go through in order to be in a healthy space, and the way the Witchy Western is set up, the depths we go to in order to stay in dependent situations. I don't want to say we stand because it's just more so because we're dependent. We grow dependent, we grow comfortable, you know, it becomes familiar. It's no different than when you're like, oh, a familiar spirit. Do you know familiar spirit? It's either gonna be on this team or it's on this team. See, my daughter was talking yesterday and she was like, yeah, daddy, my friend was talking to me, blah, 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 in the spiritual realm. And I'm like, oh, hold up. Every time I hear about motherfuckers talking to people and people talking back, spiritual world is usually some demons. So I'm like, so I start asking her some questions, just like, yo, so what was they saying, or what was the conversations about, or what was they talking about? Just kind of picking. I don't remember exactly how I said it or worded it, but I simplified it so she understood it. And she had responded to me, and I was like, oh, okay. Then I was like, well, how do you know which team he's on? She was like, Daddy, he's on the good team. I can tell. I said, why, by the stuff he says, you can tell he's on the good team? She said, no, I can tell by his energy he's on the good team. And I'm just thinking to myself, yo, this is on a fucking lowest frequency level. I would be like, I don't believe you, I don't see it, I don't feel it. But me being me and understanding the world that we in, it's like, oh shit, well, at least the beings that you could possibly be engaging with in the spiritual world, at least I know they're healthy, helping beings, you know, entities in the spiritual realm. Because they're not the ones that, you know, we all know when you got the demons talking to you. We hear, look, Tommy told me to do it. I didn't want to stab the little girl, but Tommy told me to do it. Who is Tommy? He's in here. He was sitting beside me. That is a demon. When they're enlightening you and telling you to do other shit, that is when you know you are talking to the angels and the angels are communicating with you. My daughter always been a light being, so I already understand these things. But the toughest part with her as well too is understanding that she has adults are jealous of her already. One, because the demonic and that's just the place they are. And two, because she already meet the physical standard looks out here. So for the people that don't know her on the inside, they're going to see her outside and be like, oh, blah, 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 and make their judgments, you know. But the real substance is the inside, which we already know. And she shares, she loves, and it's no different than what I said would have been going on with me if I had the right proper guidance and everything in the process, you know. She shares her information the same way I do, and we both get taxed for sharing it around jealous, envious motherfuckers. Her mother is extremely jealous of her, so I have to make sure that I do things with my daughter truthfully. So say like I got a transition in space, right? Staying with a friend, female friend. Instead of my daughter having to go back in line and be like, oh yeah, daddy wasn't sleeping with his person or blah, 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 you know, I'll sleep in the bed with my daughter, so that way she doesn't have to go back to the house and lie to her mom, because her mom is gonna ask her, are you mad because I'm asking you 21 questions? Are you my soulmate? Because if so, girl, you're no. No. So for me, it's like, if I do things on the healthiest level possible, then that keeps my daughter from having to worry about dealing with somebody's being jealous and envious on the other side of the spectrum that she has to deal with for a full week. And then the other being that I already deal with full time per se, kind of, is like, I already know I have to minimize the information, and I already know that there is jealousy and envy in between there. You do not get with somebody attractive and expect them not to communicate or deal with people, or expect the universe not to be attracted to them. That is stupid. That's like a rose sitting right here, and then nobody's noticing the rose. They just like, oh yeah, that rose is nothing. That rose is gonna get some acknowledgement. If you want something that doesn't get acknowledgement, you pick up something regular. Pick up a strand of this grass or something, you know what I'm saying? That's a little bit different. But you have to know what comes with the beings that you're around. And you have to understand that my jealousy is way down here below 10%. Below 15, because I'm pretty confident, comfortable in my space. And my thing is like, it's no reason for me to be jealous of this female or that male when I know that I can do anything I put my spirit to. That's how it's been my whole life. If I wanted to play a sport, I got really good at it. I went and tried it, I did it, I was really good at it. If I wanted to get a job, I told them I was a fast learner, I really learned it really quick. Boom, got it, figured it out. It didn't matter what it was. If it was a female, I saw, oh, hey, yeah. She's on my spirit world, yep. I'm gonna go put my energy into her energy. Not saying in that kind of manner, but I'm saying like, we can engage and communicate, you know what I'm saying? So our worlds are kind of intertwining now. It's a whole lot to be mindful of these jealous motherfucking demons. They are very jealous and they are very envious, and they will do everything they can to hold you down. So don't be thinking that you're gonna be shitting, shining, stunting around these motherfuckers and they are jealous of you. You getting all these accolades and people telling you you're doing a great job and they love your work and oh, you're helping and healing so many people, and this motherfucker is looking at you like, yeah, I wish you would ask me to do something. I'm going to tell you I'm going to do it, and then I'm not going to do it. I'm going to shoot you to shit. I'm going to throw you all the excuses under the sun, and I'm going to shoot you under the bus. If it ain't for us, it's against us. They ain't riding with us, they riding against us, you know what I'm saying? So we already understand. We the light beings, light workers. We the chosen ones out here. And it could be more people working to raise this motherfucking frequency, but clearly chosen mean that we were strong enough to maintain ourselves, our balance, and help and heal this fucking universe out here in the midst of all this weird, witchy, western shit. You know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.